So this is a presentation on the graphical debunking of argumentation ethics. What I contend is that anarcho-capitalists, when presenting argumentation ethics, commit inductive fallacy when misidentifying or overgeneralizing the necessary conditions for argumentation. So whenever two people argue, let's say me and you, there's presuppositions made or necessary conditions for this argumentation to occur. And there's a scope and domain of those necessary conditions, which are very limited in scope, and it involves this purple space represented in this Venn diagram with the intersection of me, you, and right now. Right. This is the domain of the presuppositional statements being made when we argue, that are implicitly being made when we argue, and what Austrians will try to make you believe is that they're saying that the participants in the debate always prefer non-aggressive argumentation to resolve disputes, which is this area that's in the red and the purple, and that is inductive fallacy. They overgeneralize the scope of the presuppositions. So what's even worse is that some will even contend the non-aggression principle is the presupposition for argumentation, which is the entire sample space or the entire space of all interactions between all people at all times, which is a huge logical blunder, right? A huge overgeneralization. So when you realize the scope is very limited to just me, you, and right now, you'll see that if you do not breach this domain in the argument, in one of the participants' argument for aggression, like if one of the participants, let's say me, makes an argument for aggression, let's just say that I prefer to aggress against you. I will prefer to aggress against you every time other than this debate, and that will not breach this domain, and that you cannot create a contradiction without breaching this domain. So I'm talking about this space here, right? So, and if now a valid contradiction would be to say I never prefer to argue, right? And you can see it's referencing this entire sample space of interactions of me, which include the purple area. That's like saying, that's like implying that I do not prefer to argue right now with you. But the presupposition is that I do prefer to argue with you right now, right? So that's all. I mean, Austrians overgeneralize the necessary conditions, and they arrive to a very significant conclusion, which, if were true, if you could prove the non-aggression principle, or prove that at the very least you cannot make an argument for aggression, that would be a significant finding in both logic and morality, and it would maybe even warrant a peace prize, but it isn't. It's just a big logical inductive fallacy.